Today's video is a reaction to a video posted by Earn Your Leisure, wherein the host said that the statistic that says black people will have zero net worth by 2050 is a myth. You will find a link to it in the description box below. He is basing his opinion on his belief that the numbers of black millionaires are increasing. Is he right? Or is the prediction that the average black person's net worth will be zero by 2050 correct? Let's talk about it. The knowledge that I'm about to share with you is coming from experience, not opinion. I've been in the financial services industry for 45 years, and I'm a certified financial educator with the National Financial Educators Council. I have helped 1,238 of my premium clients build $1.98 billion in wealth for their families collectively. And that, brothers and sisters, is an average of $1.6 million per family. I've been teaching people how to actually build wealth successfully longer than the hosts of Earn Your Leisure have been born. Now, unfortunately, the majority of the families that I helped become millionaires are white. All right. And that's because you just about have to put a gun to black people's head to get them to take a financial literacy class. But here's a Muppet newsflash. Real wealth building knowledge is not going to just fall out of the sky, and nobody is going to give you information that can actually make you a millionaire for free. You have to go and get it, and you have to pay for it. These young guys that offer financial advice on YouTube are irritating to me and dangerous to you because they have more opinions than actual experience. See, they try to get you to pay them money for information that they glean from reading or listening to audiobooks that were originally written by guys like me. The guy in the video that I'm responding to doesn't have much financial experience because he has a problem with the phrase median net worth. See, it appears that he doesn't understand what the word median simply means average. And here's why it's true that the average black person's net worth will be zero by 2050. If there are 13 million black people in America with zero net worth, and there are 130,000 black millionaires, their average or median net worth as a group will be $0.01. See, the young man in the video also doesn't seem to know that wealth is connected to marriage. There are dozens of black men that have YouTube channels where they teach against marriage all day, every day. And as black people, we have a problem getting and staying married. Their effort to stop black men from getting married is going to have a negative impact on black net worth. See, net worth is also connected to home ownership, though. And black people have had a problem historically buying high-value homes, right? And the reason why we have a problem buying that high-value home in high net worth neighborhoods is because we haven't figured out yet that the phrase red line is actually referring to a bloodline. See, everybody's blood is red, right? However, if your red blood is covered by black skin, you cannot live outside of this red line. See, we have not figured out yet how to overcome the economic racism such as redlining in order to win the game of capitalism because we have been conditioned to hold each other down. While our detractors are playing the game of monopoly and buying property, okay, we are playing the game of Uno and taking every opportunity we can to cause another brother to draw four, thinking that holding him back is going to cause us to win. Consequently, the increase in black millionaires that the Earn Your Leisure host referred to is actually a social media myth. See, anybody can get on the internet and claim to be a millionaire. Well, let's just say for the sake of argument that the number of black people becoming millionaires has increased, all right? But even with the advent of new black millionaires, the median net worth of the average black man today is still just $10,000 in the present moment, all right? The median net worth of the single black woman is still $1,700 at the present time. But that is due primarily to the fact that the average black person who is unmarried does not own a high-value home. You see, the financial struggle of black people is also due to the fact that black women are being conditioned socially to be strong and independent. Consequently, the majority of them suffer from "I don't need a man" syndrome. See, when a black female says "I can do bad by myself," she's not lying. According to the Consumer Finance Corporation, the average net worth of a single black woman with children is just $5. Just $5. Black women do not only do bad by themselves, the data shows that they do worse by themselves. Now, single black men, on the other hand, are experiencing low economic standing also because they are being conditioned socially to believe that marriage is a financial minefield. The YouTube red pill gurus are constantly telling them that anytime he takes the wrong step in his marriage, his wife can blow him up financially. However, the truth is there is greater financial reward than risk in marriage, right? Statistically, married men are wealthier and have a higher net worth than single men. Black married men are healthier and they live longer than their single counterparts. Now, if you've been paying attention to what's going on politically, then you already know that pretty soon Congress will pass legislation which will be backed up by the Supreme Court that says it's okay for a white business owner to discriminate. A University of Chicago study revealed that over half of the January 6 rioters were business owners. Now, what will black people do when it's no longer illegal for white people to refuse to hire black people? If you've been paying attention to politics again, the year 2050 should sound familiar to you, right? That is the same year whites are projected to become a minority population in America. In 2050, it will no longer be feasible for the white minority to provide jobs for the black and brown majority, right? The courts will have to allow white people to discriminate against black and brown people in order to protect their economic survival. Now, don't ever let another ignorant, woke, or hotep Negro tell you that it doesn't matter who you vote for or that you shouldn't vote. See, presidents appoint federal and Supreme Court level judges. Democrats usually appoint judges that will protect your civil rights, whereas Republicans usually appoint judges that will take your rights away. Now, look at the recent court ruling that a judge in Tennessee made against workers and the LGBT community. It eliminates their protection under federal law, right? You're going to find a link to it in the description box. But if a lower court judge can simply strip away the rights that we have under the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment, then there are no rights that a court can't rescind, including the right to fair or non-discriminatory hiring practices. Now, in the majority opinion on taking away a woman's right to abortion, published by the U.S. Supreme Court, it says that unless a right is specifically stated in the U.S. Constitution, there is no guaranteed protection under the law to preserve that right. In 2018, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in favor of a baker who refused to bake a wedding cake for a gay couple. The problem with the court's decision in that case is it left open the larger question of whether a business can discriminate against people based on the rights guaranteed by the First Amendment. So, since this ruling was published, I've been advocating that the Department of Justice restrict the First Amendment rights of white right-wing news outlets such as Fox News. See, the speech coming through their outlets are no different than the speech we blocked in America from Muslim terrorists to keep them from radicalizing U.S. citizens. Right-wing news outlets are radicalizing white people, creating domestic terrorists, and fomenting violence against democracy and the U.S. government. See, limiting right-wing access to free speech would have been impossible to impose under a Trump-led Department of Justice, but the problem under a Biden-led Justice Department is both Biden and Attorney General Merrick Garland are too weak to wage a war against Republicans in an effort to forcefully protect democracy. If President Biden had the kahunas, he could simply craft a carefully worded executive order restricting the right of certain types of speech that cause people to issue death threats, to show up at political leaders or election officials' homes with guns, and that tend to support and foment the violent overthrow of the U.S. government. If Democrats retain control of the U.S. House of Representatives in the 2022 election and obtain a larger majority in the U.S. Senate, they must use the statement in the U.S. Supreme Court majority opinion on abortion to restrict the sale of AR-15s and other military-style weapons, including high-capacity magazines. The opinion says that if it is a right that was previously enjoyed but not specifically stated in the Constitution, then there is no protection to preserve that right under the law. The Second Amendment says that citizens have a right to bear arms, but it does not specifically say that they have a right to bear every kind of arms. Therefore, the president can issue a carefully worded executive order putting a ban on the sale of all military weapons and high-capacity magazines. If nothing else, these two executive orders will force the Supreme Court to define whether or not every citizen has equal protection under the law, or Congress can just pass a law to end this crap, okay? But in the meantime, black people must get about the business of creating jobs for other people to provide for our own protection. There are 2.6 million black businesses in America, but 2.5 million of those businesses have only one employee. A business with only one employee means the business owner simply created a job for him or herself. Now, if black people are not creating jobs for other black people by 2050, America will become another apartheid South Africa, with the majority being ruled by the minority. American society will revert back to pre-1950s when the white man was king and a nigga knew his place. The best job a black man could get back then is where he had to say, "Mo biscuits, son." And black women had to be members of the Motisa tribe because they had to learn how to say, "Motisa." See, you can be tough and think that you wouldn't do that if you want to. But black men were tough back then and black women were strong back then. But they did what they had to do in order to sustain their lives and feed their children. Now, if you want to learn how to build enough wealth to start a business, I have a course titled Money Does Grow on Trees that teaches you how money grows on the family tree. And you can find it on drwillenterprises.com. See, if every person takes this course, by 2050, the median black net worth will be 1.6 million. And how do I know? It's because I took 1,238 families and used this plan to help them build $1.98 billion for their families collectively, and that averaged out to $1.6 million per family individually. See, the majority of black people in America live paycheck to paycheck, 77% are stuck in debt, and 60% of us have no savings. But Money Does Grow on Trees will eliminate your financial struggles by showing you how money grows on the family tree. And that's because God designed family to be the primary organization for wealth generation. And that means every family has the power to become wealthy. And the proof of it is that Fortune 500 corporations have used this knowledge for over a century to produce wealth for their family of companies. See, they understand that generational wealth is built on the power of family, not money. So don't pass on this opportunity to receive life-changing information that is new and true that nobody told you. If you are ready to end your financial struggles, scan this QR code now, all right? Now, if you think that you can't afford to pay for this $1 million wealth building plan, the truth is you can't afford not to. See, the word afford is actually a type of prison mindset designed to keep you locked in your current financial situation. Rather than saying that you can't afford it, break out of that prison mindset by writing down the money moves that you need to make in order to get it. Now, if you play the can't afford it Jedi mind game with yourself and you put off getting the plan for 2 months or 12 months, you won't realize until after you get it just how much money you lost by waiting. When it comes down to buying wealth building knowledge, brothers and sisters, you must do what you can with what you have to get it now. Now, nobody is going to give you multi-million-dollar wealth building information for free. If it really works, they are not going to make it cheap either, okay? So do yourself a favor and come to the reality that the price of knowledge is always lower than the cost of ignorance. But now I put the price within your reach because I want you to be financially free, okay? But you can pay now or you can continue to be a financial prisoner and you'll have to pay later. But just remember that it won't be long before the Supreme Court rules that it's legal for a white man to refuse to hire black people. Then the prediction that the black net worth is going to be zero by 2050 will not only come true, it'll usher in a new type of slavery where your children can be sold or put to work to pay your debt. History always repeats itself, and since the child labor has already happened in history, there is nothing stopping Republican-led Congress from repealing child labor laws in order to make it happen again. And finally, brothers and sisters, I want to invite you to check out my new YouTube channel, Zero to Millions, where you will find financial education information that is new and true that nobody told you. Again, I've helped 1,238 of my clients build $1.98 billion for their families collectively. And again, that averages out to $1.6 million per family. So you can keep listening to these YouTube financial gurus that are just putting on a show if you want to, or you can subscribe to a channel with a man that has 45 years of experience actually teaching families, individuals, and business owners how to make millions. All right? Amen. Well, that's all that I have for now. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, share this video with your family and friends, and I'll be back with something new that nobody told you. Until then, remember that God loves you, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I'll see you next time on Zero to Millions.